perfect Constitution, but we don't have to have a new one. What we have to do is just respect the one that we have. We need to restore that confidence. And that confidence is not that difficult to generate because I believe it's growing by leaps and bounds. I believe that it's also something that can come about way far beyond all our expectations, and I believe this is something that's happening right now. I have been quite frank about where I thought we were in the freedom movement 6, 7, 8 months ago, when individuals, many like yourselves who had written to me and asked me to enter into the race, many of my friends and neighbors and supporters and those who have worked for me have asked for many years for me to participate. But I was a pessimist to the point where I said, there's not enough. There's nobody out there. Nobody cares. And I've been always very reluctant. Always, though, believing there was a remnant out there that knew and cared and understood and wanted the Constitution and wanted sound money. Various reason I have discovered in the last 6 months that our efforts and our group, those of you who believe this way, our numbers are much greater than I ever dreamed. And it isn't so much that the numbers were much greater than I've ever believed before. It's that the message is so powerful and so convincing that when people hear it, that the new people coming in are so numerous, I never dreamed that they would come so rapidly. So the conditions must be right for what we are doing and what we are saying. So there must be a lot more concern, because in Washington, they wouldn't believe hardly anything I just said about the conditions of the country. They say, where do you get these ideas? Everybody's happy, the economy is fine. And of course, they are getting a message about the war. People are getting concerned. The American people have awakened about the war, and they don't like no-win, long-lasting, unconstitutional, undeclared wars. But with our numbers growing and with the modern age of electronic communications, there's reason to be hopeful. There's reasons to be hopeful because things were a lot different when I first started studying and reading about free market economics and the cause of liberty and our history. But today, there's so much more available. In the 1950s, there were so few organizations that published books and talked about these ideas. But today, there are literally hundreds. You know, to me, the one thing that really impressed me about what has happened, I'm a user of the internet, but I admit I don't understand a lot about it. And this whole idea of people coming together spontaneously with meetup groups, is that like a miracle or something? I have often talked about laissez-faire capitalism, that markets should be truly free without government interfering. Well, I never dreamed that there could be such a thing as a laissez-faire campaign that we have today. Top-down. I'm a part of it, and I'm delighted to be a part of it, but the campaign really is a grassroots effort of individuals like yourself who have come together and discovered that there is a way out, and we need to do it. We need to use the remaining amount of freedoms that we still have and demand that we can continue to do it, and reject the notion that we need more and bigger government. We don't need more government. We need less government, which means we need more freedom. We don't know what tomorrow will bring. We never know. Things could improve tremendously tomorrow. All kinds of events can happen. And we don't know how long the monetary system will work, how long it'll be before the whole program just comes, it comes apart. I don't think the foundations are very solid in this country. I don't think the foundation is solid for our civil liberties. I don't think the foundation of our monetary system is solid. Our economic system is not solid. I think our foreign policy is a mess. But we don't know that tomorrow is going to be a lot worse. We don't know whether there's going to be a major world war and a calamity. But we don't know exactly what can come. But we do know that the foundation has been eroded. But the obligation that we have as individuals is first, the obligation is to ourselves to know about it and to understand it and to spread the message. That to me is very important. We assume responsibility for ourselves and our families and our neighbors. We assume responsibility and work with our church and our local communities and our local government and be prepared. We must be prepared. But believe me, what moves the world are ideas. Individuals are secondary to ideas. And the ideas of liberty do work, and that is what we have to cling to. But the opportunity is before us. If we do those things, take care of our responsibilities and participate and spread a message, if we do those things, that's the maximum we can do. Because we do not know exactly what will come tomorrow. We may have a year, 2, 3, 5, 10, or a decade. Who knows how long it might be before we have a major crisis to deal with. The danger then is, could we lose the rest of our liberties, or are we going to restore those liberties? That is why we do everything conceivable, and sometimes better things come of it than we ever dreamed. Let me tell you, I am much more optimistic now than I was 6 months ago. I'm optimistic. Because everywhere we go, we're getting cries like this, that I feel like I'm preaching to the choir, and I'm so delighted that you already know most of this stuff anyway. But the numbers are growing, and there's every reason to believe that we can have an impact, and we can do that by having a very, very successful campaign. I thank you very much for your participation, because this cause is worthwhile, and truth wins out in the end.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for coming today. Let me remind you again that there will be a private reception with Congressman Ron Hall in room 201 next door that requires a $1,000 admission. And on a smaller scale, the envelopes that you were passed out earlier, if you'd be good enough to place your contributions in those, and there'll be